Hi ladies and gentlemen, I am Benjamin Temple, and this time I'm doing a video on the Broadway limit imports, the E.M.D SD45. I have two of them sitting on the track in the Conrail scheme, and purpose is because I looking to eventually maybe build the Effingham, city of Effingham, Illinois. And the east and west route, at least as a kid, a lot of Penn Central stuff would come through there, but it would say Conrail. Sometimes it would still have the Penn Central paint scheme and even Penn Central, but for the most part it was switched over to Conrail. And then later they would come out with this blue color, the sky blue, I guess you'd refer to it, with the C in the line, or the can opener scheme. So taking a look at these locomotives, Broadway, I appreciate all the hard work, but one comment I want to make here, and I don't know whose idea this was, but if you take a look here, the problem that I'm having is you put a really long drawbar on these locomotives. I don't know whose suggestion that is, but just, you know, one of the things that I know some of your people pride yourself in is realism, and you look at that distance between one locomotive to the other and it just is not prototype, period. So these locomotives, what I could see, I didn't even have to look this up, but no, because I've had a few in the past when I sold my UP ones I had when I was a teenager. It's a 3,600 horsepower engine. What I Googled from the data shop, or data sheet, the diesel shop website says 1972 to 1974, which is what I thought in the 70s or late 60s. I believe this has the prime mover 645 cubic inch block. I want to say these are 16 cylinder engines, but if somebody out there knows more than I do as far as that, please make a comment. I'm not going to take any offense or be mad if you can provide the information and source where you got it from. So that's my feedback, and the problem I'm having is 6120 outrun 6143. Now that may not be Broadway Limit's fault. 6120 I've had for a while, about a couple months, and I've run this layout, so maybe it's just limbered up. And 6143 I just got literally last week on Friday, and today is the first day it's come out of the box and went on the track. So then doing a product review, I have the Athearn, it's Athearn Ready to Run. So these are the 50-foot Evans double door or double plug door boxcar. This would have been something that I seem to remember was in the late 1980s, maybe even early 1990s. They came in Effingham, at least what I remember. Now the car says built like March 1973. So, but I got these two cars again. I'm wanting to model Effingham, Illinois, and there was a Purina dog food, cat food store or pet food store that was there in that town for a short little time. Although they had the Purina logo. I don't know that it was Ranston part of that franchise. It might have been some other corporative or whatever it was under, but they later would still be a pet store, but they would lose their logo. I don't know if they lost their deal. And then these cars here, the Weishauser, however you pronunciate that name, what I've seen mostly as being an over-road truck driver was their paper mills, but they also would be dropped off of that siding there down from the Effingham Equity at the pet store, Purina Pet Food, and there. So I got it for that purpose. I won't be getting any more of those cars. And then as anybody that knows me, I'm an Illinois Central fan, so that's the reasoning for the IC. They might have been at that siding, I don't know. So another one I wanted to kind of review here. Yes, if you've noticed, All these have Katy couplers. I do the number 5 or the whisker equivalent, and I switch them out because it seems to run a lot better when you keep. And thanks to John Shoemaker, Coreyville Station, he suggested years ago, you know, to do the Katy coupler height gauge, and I refused to do it. But, you know, thanks to finally listening to his advice, has solved a lot of problems, getting that coupler to a standard height. And then also those trip pins, you know, bending them if they're out of adjustment to the height that that gauge says. So the next set of these cars, this is kind of really in the wrong time era. I think what I saw in the cars is like 2004, 2005 was the date. But I'm trying to stay mainly in the mid 80s to early 90s, but this is the Trinity 5161 cubic foot, which is the volume for this 3-bay covered hopper car. So these are potash. Now, anybody that knows anything about agriculture knows potash is fertilizer, and I worked in the fertilizer industry for Nutrient Ag, and before it became that bought out by them, it was Tri-County Ag. And I learned a lot about mixtures of different fertilizers and those things. So I bought these cars because I've seen them up and down the rail. They are a little out of my time, but maybe I can switch them later down the road, or take off the reflective striping and bring them back if they were, say, in that. But the fact that they've got, I think, March of 2004 or something like that, I would have to do that little black box up if it's going to be correct. But the complaint I saw on Facebook in some places was these cars are really terrible about staying on the track, and I've had trouble with coupling, and well, I mean uncoupling. So the big problem that I see is Intermountain. If you're watching my videos here, and I don't know that you are, but again, I'm not trying to be mean to you, Intermountain. I like a lot of your products, and I do buy a lot of your stuff. I have the 4750s, I think, that you make, and the 4740s. In the IC and the UP, but the problem that I see here is this plastic air hose. It's hanging in a way that blocks the knuckle coupler from opening all the way and being able to uncouple and also couple the car. That's one of the problems. Now, my particular issue might have not been something that Intermountain did wrong, but when I took out the couplers, something that I would like Intermountain to note as well was these cars, you know, as far as quality control, doesn't seem like they did a lot of quality control in some certain areas. So the couplers, these right here where this little edge on the coupler here, it came out of the mold and it didn't grind off the little plastic piece and get that all nice and flush. Plus, down below the coupler box itself that screws on, that too is a little far out, which you know, catches on the coupler when swinging. So that's something you know, Intermountain in the future you might think about when building cars, is to pay attention to. The other thing I noticed that you need to pay attention to is, I don't know if the mold was getting dirty or you didn't check the standards, but your height on your cars changed from one car to another after 3 or 4 cars. It was a big problem with the UP version I had. But I got, like I say, the potash because I did haul a lot of that when I drove truck. And then I just like the paint scheme of the Kansas City Southern. No, I'm not a modeler of that railroad. I don't have any of their locomotives, nor will I get, but I have quite a few of their cars. And then the Union Pacific, of course, you know I'm a big UP fan, and I model a lot of Union Pacific. And no, the caboose is not new, and we're not doing a review on that caboose. It's just part of this training because Well, I have a Conrail caboose, but I'm not real fond of my Rapido caboose. I mean, it does definitely depict the Eastern caboose, but I bought it because that's the only thing available, but I'm looking for a different style caboose. So for the one guy that's having a problem with the derailments, the big thing I noticed is screwing down those trucks when you switch out couplers. You don't want to tighten the trucks too tight. I was having problems, but once I loosened them up a bit, the derailments seemed to happen a lot less. Also, bending or moving those air hoses seemed to catch and cause the couplers to not properly function, which also cause derailments. So I just thought I'd point that out for people that are looking for some solutions. And I was going to run this train once around the loop or lap, once around the layout, and then see what you think. Let's see if we can get it, but I think my power's off. Yep, we are maybe dead on the track here, it looks like. I think we've hit that time that we're out of time, so maybe this review is just going to come to an end here. Let's see what we've got going on here. We'll see if that'll get, but I might have just lost command connection to my locomotive too, because you can clearly see they're on, but oh yeah, okay. Yep, so we lost command to the engines. That's what truly happened. Alright, I have the sound turned off so that you could hear my review, because I know that's a complaint that I've had in the past, is that I'm not loud enough. And I think all in all, I mean, I don't remember these engines as a kid. I think for the most part, they were like the SD50 or maybe the SD60 by the time I was old enough to really know things. But, so I really don't know if that sound is correct, because I know some people, make those comments. I try to not make those comments. I feel like you really ought to know the engine and what it sounds like. But I know the prime mover for the most part that's supposed to be in that engine, without doing a Google or looking through my books. But I'm saying in general that should be pretty close. So as you can see, I'm having some trouble here again with these cars really derailing, but sometimes it's just the club layout needs some cleaning and needs a little bit of maintenance, to be honest. So I don't know what is the problem for sure, but the other thing I thought about doing when I get back to my apartment is my roommate, my neighbor, he got me a track gauge. It's an NR, or the Model Railroad or National Model Railroad Association, or whatever the abbreviations are, but I'm pretty sure that you understand what I'm talking about. He got me one of those, and still brand new in the package. So as I get time, I will check that out and see. But I did put some new cars on that. There's a handful of potash cars that weren't on since I've run them around the loop. I've added 2 of them and 1 Kansas City Southern, so I haven't really checked the wheels, make sure that I've got them loose enough. So the problem there might be, and I'm just taking a guess in the dark there, that maybe that might just be that it's out of track gauge too. I don't really know for sure, but like I say, when I get back to the department, we'll check that and then see what we find. But I kind of lost my train of thought there. Sorry. I haven't checked the wheels, like I say, on a few of these cars as far as the truck tight down, so it might be a little too tight and need to loosen them for it to better track, but hopefully everything is okay. I only brought 2 UP. I have a grand total of 6 of these Kansas City Southern cars. I really didn't feel like bringing a whole lot because it just means more work for me as far as that goes. And let's see if this goes. Nope. Already got a car off the track, but kind of thought this one car, and that is one of the newer ones. No, I don't have these 2 locomotives in a consist for that very reason. I was trying to speed match them, but unfortunately, I still don't have all the understanding of how that works and mastered just yet. And mostly can do just about whatever you want with Digitrax and the JMRI programming, but there's still some stuff to learn from people that know the system a little better than I do, so we'll have to work on that. Well, that's a tangent scale model caboose, by the way. Check out that flashing light. I do remember as a kid seeing that caboose and the flashing light when it would come through my town, so it's kind of pretty cool that they've got that what appears to be accurate. And the other thing, maybe somebody out there that knows more than I know, so like the UP big boy, or not the big boy, I mean the superpower big blows, or the GTEL 8500s, their marker lights, or ditch lights, if that's what you want to call them, but I think technically they're marker lights. On this caboose, they only go red and green. That's your choices. So reasoning for asking about that, on like the big blows, they go red, green, and white or yellow, whatever. But that's pretty much your choices with them. And so, but this Conrail only has red, so did the laws or rules of railroading change between, you know, like 1950 to 1975, and then, you know, 1974 to, or 72 to 74 when these engines came out. If anybody knows out there, let me know, please. And so we're going to run this, well, to be going down the 4% grade here as it comes across this bridge and through the tunnel here. And then if we manage to make it without having any problems, then we're going up that hill. So far, so good. No derailments yet. I don't know how we're getting so lucky, but praise the Lord. So we're kind of running this, you know, at about 25% throttle. I don't know what scale of speed that would be, but I'm going to guess that the way they're moving, maybe this is about 20 mile an hour, 25 mile an hour, somewhere in that ballpark. I mean, is that prototypical? Probably in the area that they're doing, they should be doing a little faster, but I don't want to move them too fast because things begin to come off the track the faster we go, and so bear with me here. But one locomotive earlier would pull, like say we added 2 potash cars, and we added a Kansas City, so it's 3 cars. We take that off, brings you down to from 16 to 13 cars. So a few of these cars are a little stiff, I've noticed, and probably the reason for the derailment. Of course, it don't help when I shove them. Alright. Oh, we lost her. Like I say, there's a few new cars, and I didn't get a chance to test them and make some corrections as I did to the other cars. So there's 3 cars here that crap. Well, that's not gonna work out. Yeah, we probably just better back train up. So this layout, this club layout is under construction, as you see, so please excuse the construction work. Hopefully within a month or so, maybe a bunch of stuff will get done and it'll all be gone and tidied up. But working on a few things and getting closer to having more and more of it done, but it's probably going to take a little while. I think, like I said, there's one of these cars that the wheels need, the trucks need adjusted as far as the tightness on it. So we'll see if this works. One of the locomotives I got to turn about 10% down, which is the first one, from the second one, or otherwise it just, you can hear it grinding the rails because it's pulling so hard. But I'm trying to keep that set pretty decent. As you can see, these engines aren't even struggling. Of course, I'm talking 16 cars. There should be no reason at all that the struggles. But as I said before, I believe why some of the cars come off the track too is that air hose there tends to get in the way and cause the wheels to raise up, I've noticed. So that's another problematic thing that I've noticed with this train. So Intermountain, if you are watching my video again, please take notes on, I love the details. I'm not complaining here. I know some other people, they're all about details. And again, again, not putting down people, each to their own. Every person has their standards and what they like to run. And hey, it's your railroad. You can run it however you want. My railroad, I'm not so concerned about details. I'm more concerned about prototypic performance. And yes, maybe in some ways a little less than prototypic performance. I want an engine that, it's not necessarily more or less than prototypic performance, but what I want is, like Athearn, that says, well, we have the DD40AX and all that, and we set do the math, and we can show you here that it clearly is performing our prototypic. But the problem there is, sometimes to get prototypic, you have to put a little more into it, because you got to remember the real thing weighs, as one guy pointed out, if you was to build these like the real thing, touching the cars, you would just shatter them because they're heavier than, when you scale them up or scale them down. So, point of putting that here is this. If you're going to build them prototypic, as you say, then to get prototypic performance, you're probably going to have to overdo them just a little bit so that you get the more realism to that. And purpose is because, first of all, the cars and the material is thicker and heavier than the real thing if you scaled it down. Now, I haven't really done the math myself and, put this in some kind of computer drafting or an FMEA to check that data, but I'm just going to take their word in this particular case and hope that they're giving it to me correct. If they're not, then I do apologize for those out there, but I don't have unfortunately, I don't have a CAD system on my computer, and I used to have a Tandy 1000 draw, but that's a long time ago. And so that's neither here nor there now, and besides, this system would not be able to do the FMEA analysis, so I couldn't check it anyhow. But even in the days of going to college, I would have access to that and be able to draw it up and test. But unfortunately, I don't have that to my ability at the moment, or access to it. I don't know if my community college would have access to something like that I could use. I'm gonna guess that's gonna be something that's gonna require more money, or a special place to go and get that done, such as some club that you got to be a member of, which there was a River City labs here in Peoria that I could join, but unfortunately I don't have the money to do that right at the moment. So but as you can see, this train did a lap, and you can see how many times it came off the track. Of course, sometimes my other trains have just as much trouble, but it did do pretty good from through the switch there, around the bend and over the bridge and up until it got up going just to start into that grade of the tail end, then it derailed. So again, I am Benjamin Temple. I hope you like my videos. I hope you learned something, and I hope you found this video entertaining. And for those that you have knowledge on these particular areas, please leave a comment if you can educate me. And thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you would, and also please drop me a comment. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.